I've been going through some things, but I'm here if you need me. I'm on my way to the top, I just hope you don't change on me. I'm on my way to the top, I just hope you don't change on me. Yeah.
Calculated moves, everything must make sense.
Guys.
Take the negatives out my life and then I
Guys. You are about to fly, my friend. Like, and you can sense it. And it's all because your inner child finally feels safe. Finally, boy, I have a message for you today, man. I literally woke up this morning and God and the ancestors, the whole 9 yards were in my brain loud. They were in my mind hella loud this morning. And I was just like, guys, wait. Give me a second just to obviously orient myself, get up, get pen and paper on my laptop and make notes of all of the stuff that you guys are screaming at me right now. Because it was coming in hot. So yeah, I'm so excited to share what has come through today. And, I've made notes again, as you know, just to keep my thoughts aligned, to help me keep on track, because I bounce around between concepts in my mind and sometimes it's hard for me to stay on track. So we need direction and frameworks, always. I'm a Virgo stellium. Virgo, Sun, Mercury, Venus, what else? It's like 4 placements, the first 4. Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Venus. That's it. And I love our organization, man. I need things to be organized to be able to create. It's just what needs to happen. Anyway, I digress. Welcome to the Cave of Wonders, a pocket dimension of secrets, symbols, and hidden truths, where only the blessed may enter. That's my I wrote a little intro. How'd you find it? Let me know. But welcome. If you are here, obviously it's because you are part of this frequency family that I am finding, that I am building, that I'm, opening the doors to right now, because we're all out here, we're all doing our thing. We are creatives that see beyond the ordinary, and we have been gifted with these powers, these creative abilities to help challenge, change, and shift the culture. That is our role. We are the caretakers of culture, and we take that responsibility seriously, right? And we're putting positive, blessed things out into the world, and we're protected as we do it. So the reason that I mentioned the inner child was because I really want this to be a video about just how incredible you were as a child. Let's be fucking serious. You were that child that saw the magic. And when I say saw the magic, I mean not just in how people's characters were. You were that intelligent child. Of course, you were that intelligent child that adults looked at as kind of like the anomaly, and they always let you slide. Teachers always let you do things that other students probably couldn't get away with, right? They always had their kind of like favorites with you for some reason. You would always hear that, oh, your child is really gifted. And when you were with your mom or something, or your child's very well spoken, or things like that, right? Like adults could see that light in you. And because you were a child, they were way less likely, of course, to overtly try to stamp it out. It happens, of course, when you're an adult and people have gone through the ringer of life that stamped out their own light. So they don't want to reflect that back to you, right? They easily hate. And that's, of course, what we're going to get into in this video. We're going to talk about all of that. But generally speaking, when people interact with children, they are not afraid to acknowledge that in them. And so you had that as a child. People acknowledged that in you. And it wasn't just that. It wasn't just your ability to be cheeky and funny with adults and be intelligent. It was the fact that you also saw the literal magic moments in life. You, from a very early age, had this spiritual awareness, this sense. It's almost like you came back here in a past life, because you did. I mean, let's be honest. We both know that you are an old soul. You've been an old soul, and you felt it. You've always felt like the outsider, the outcast, the person always trying to figure out, you were in situations, right? You've always been in situations, in rooms, trying to be the chameleon. You had this ability to blend in, and you've always, since a child, right? You've always been able to be in the room and analyze and take people's energies and really see beyond the surface level of what was going on in the room, right? You could see the dynamics, read into people's psychology, understand them, understand how to maneuver around them. You knew how to do that with adults. That's why they looked at you as amazing as a kid, because they could sense you were doing that. You were ahead of your time, right? And yeah, it's like being that type of child, you see the magic, you see the spiritual nature, you saw the spiritual nature of life from a kid, whether that was just, you know, seeing how things would manifest or seeing certain ideas or things that you wanted, right? Like even me as a kid, right? Let me just give some personal examples. I used to, I used to like make my games consoles out of paper and stuff and things that I wanted out of paper. And I would play with them intentionally in it as a way, as a form of bringing them into my reality. But it worked. It fucking worked. Obviously, it worked through the method of my parents because they had the money. But still, in my childhood mind, like if I could just put myself in that scenario, and my sister could attest to this because we both used to do this. We used to make. I remember we made a Nintendo DS, like man. But it worked again. But again, it's like the method of how it manifests doesn't matter. It just manifests, and bringing that into your adult life is important, right? Like having that same quality. It's the same process. Fake it till you make it. Feel it to reveal it. Where did that even come from? I've never even heard that before. Fake it till you make it. Feel it to reveal it. Trademark. Fucking trademark me. But yeah, like you felt it to reveal it. Like feel it to reveal it. It's like the Neville Goddard concept of feeling is the way. You feel something before you have it, because feeling it is telling your subconscious mind that you have it, and then your subconscious mind attracts it into your reality. But that's a side note. Where was I going with this? This is why I have my notes, because I'm veering off topic. Yes, you know, you saw these magical moments, right? You were able to do things like that, like manifest things as a child, like with that example that I'm talking about in my own childhood. There were even like weirder things that I experienced. Probably we'll go into that in another video. Maybe I'll tell you, just dedicate a video to weird spiritual things that I've experienced in my life. That would be a funny video. Maybe we'll do that on TikTok. I don't know. Stick around. Tell me in the comments if you want me to do that here or on TikTok. Or yeah, we can get into that. But you know, you were that child. You could see the spiritual nature of things, and because you were that way, you've always just been surrounded by this star energy. Star motherfucking energy. Like, that's why I started the video like this. The glasses on, channeling that star energy, that same energy that you had when you were a kid, because you are a motherfucking star. You've always been a star. You've always known it. You felt it. It's just that you tried to reveal that light and show that light as you were a child, and getting older from a child, like you were showing that light, but you saw how the world treated that light. And so it made you dim your light gradually and gradually and gradually until obviously like you've reached a point in life. Maybe you're there right now. Maybe you've just coming out of there. Maybe you're entering that moment, but that dark night of the soul that people talk about, that spiritual dark stage where you're looking at your inner self and you're trying to figure out why your life is the way it is, because you know that better things are possible. You still have that spiritual awareness, right? That awareness never went anywhere as a child. So it's still there. You always have a seed of hope. You always have a seed of hope. It's there. And so even though you're going through this rough time, even though you've been through this rough time or you're just coming out of it, you were always able to see that like more, you were meant for more, right? You were meant for more, but like, it's just that you can understand why your light was getting attacked. And man, I understand that because I've been through that myself. You know, I've been through that journey myself. I'm just coming out of that. I'm now only just reached the point where I'm like, oh my God, my light switched on. I am fucking amazing. I'm never letting anyone tell me any different. I have that star energy. Motherfucking star energy. I've got that motherfucking star energy, and you have that star energy as well. And the only reason it was being attacked is because it was being attacked by an entity that we didn't yet know existed. We were children. We didn't have intellectual concepts. We didn't have the ability to fully defend ourselves as well, because we were small humans running around like children are like drunk adults. I swear to God, they're like mini drunk adults with no filter, They're just so pure and innocent, and with all this divine intelligence that they've just freshly come out of source with into this world, and they are just running around like spreading all of this knowledge and joy and love. It's just, yeah, shout out to the children of the world. I mean, I don't know where that's coming from, but once again, just gonna get back to the notes. But yeah, it's like you didn't know that there was an entity, a spirit over this world, that this, a darker force in this world that you were being born into. On a soul level, of course, you know that. You knew that. That's what this planet is. Everyone has their concepts for this planet. Different systems have their concepts for this planet. Like the Gnostics believe that maybe we're kind of on a prison planet being drained by what they call archons. Other people, of course, believe in like heaven and hell, the Judeo-Christian. There are many like understandings and interpretations of what Earth is. Of course, like the Yoruba Ifa system look at Earth as a marketplace where souls come back and forth, going to and from Source to upgrade themselves. It's like Source's way of constantly being able to experience itself, so it's not constantly lonely, which would also fall in line with other spiritual New Age 5D consciousness concepts. But it's like just the idea that Source is this whole thing, but in order to know itself, in order to be omnipresent, it shatters itself into a million pieces to experience itself so that it's able to understand and retain that knowledge. I don't even know where this is coming from, but yeah, it's like that is what Earth is, though, right? It's the place for Source to do that. It's the place where we come to experience each other, to experience connection and love and creation, right? That's why we're born as creators. And it's just like your soul knew that it was coming here to experience some hard times, to be able to grow as an individual soul, because you are a spark of God. You have a divine consciousness, your Ori, your destiny, your own unique signature in this universe. You are unique. But in so many words, on a human level, of course, you came into this Earth, as we all do, without the earthly knowledge, because you're just a child. You haven't got any programming yet of the world. And the enforcer energy, because it dominates this world, has a large part to do with how we're programmed. Of course, we all come into this world and we have to fight. We have to fight in some way to retain our creative childlike selves. And I just want to go into more of an explanation of what the enforcer is. Obviously, the enforcer in that story, in that narrative of what Earth is this energy of stagnation. It's the energy of decay, not necessarily death, but decay, stagnation, because stagnation is when things don't grow anymore. It's when things don't flourish, they don't expand, which is God and Spirit's natural state. It's nature's natural state, which is why, things are fractal. We have Fibonacci sequence, things go off in fractal ways, they grow. We grow as people, we expand, we change, we evolve. So does nature. Everything is supposed to follow that flow. We're supposed to expand. And this energy that is currently circling our planet, feeding off of it, whatever you believe that is, the devil, archons, whatever the hell is your version of that energy. It's that energy, right? It's stagnation. It wants to suck off life in any way it can just to feed it itself. That's its only function. And the way that it's been able to proliferate through our world and dominate things, of course, is scary and at times, because you see the way that it manifests in the way that we deal with each other and the way that certain things happen in this world, right? And certain people act even on a personal level. But it is that energy, right? And again, it's not death. It's not death, it's not chaos. It uses those concepts because they are concepts of their own. Death and chaos are still two distinct vibrational signatures, or like fundamental existential forces of their own, right? Death, you need death in this universe, in life, to be able to appreciate the actual existence of life. That's why you need death. Death is that balancing force. Death is not evil. Neither is chaos. Chaos is like the potential. Like when you look on a quantum level, that is what chaos is. It's particles, energy flowing every way in which way it can and could possibly go, because it has the potential to manifest into something. And we as observers, as people, as humans, as souls in these incarnate bodies with this vision of the world through these human eyes, we are able to like take chaos and organize it and create into something. That's why we are creators, especially as artists and creatives. Wow, I feel like I'm in flow. Let me just pause for a second and drink some water, because like this is coming in hot. God damn. Oh man. Ancestors, thank you for being here with me. That's why we lit this incense. I was talking to my ancestors just before I started this video, and I asked them to be with me here, talking to God as always. Talk to them. I literally talk to them. I'm by myself in my place right now, and I literally talk out loud to these guys. I talk out loud to my ancestors, to God, to any positive forces that want to help me on my road and on this journey. And I'm sure you're the same way. I'm sure you're the same type of person. You talk out loud to yourself, because you're not just talking to yourself. They're right there with you. When you're in the motherfucking store, yeah, when you're in the shopping center buying whatever it is that you need to buy, please believe your ancestors are right there behind you, looking at you like, dang, she rich. This girl rich. She rich, yes. Because they're looking at you like you are the fucking culmination of all of their hard work, and you're just here casually living this life, doing the things that you're doing. This is a tangent, but you're there. You are their jewel. You are the goat of your bloodline. I just need to remind you of that in this video, right? I just need to remind you of that. But back on track to what we were talking about. We were talking about chaos energy, right? Yeah, so chaos energy is useful. It's its own distinct thing, right? It's still its own fundamental universal concept. But this energy of stagnation uses death and chaos to control our world. It uses those forces to control our world, which is why we see so much of it in our world right now. As a collective, we're becoming more and more aware of this, and we're starting to resist against it, but we're like not fully tilted towards collectively acknowledging the fact that it is this entity. And it does everything it can, just like the saying, the greatest thing the devil ever did was convince the world that he doesn't exist. Again, depending on whatever your belief system is, that is true, because even if you don't see it as the devil, we're talking about it as this enforcer energy, right? It wants you to believe that there's nothing spiritual, there's nothing magical about this reality, there's nothing more to life. They want you to be nihilistic and agnostic and not believe in God and acknowledge the powers that you have inside of yourself, the powers that show themselves and reveal themselves to you every single day. They don't want you to tap into that. That's why, you have all of their pundits and voices and talking heads, politicians, Neil deGrasse Tyson, all of these puppet leaders, and Trump, like Bernie Sanders, Biden, all of them, like Tony Blair, Jacinda Ardern, every single one of these motherfucking clowns, right? These clowns are puppets of this enforcer energy. And this is where I'm going with this message, right? Like, it's this enforcer energy is blocking the world, and it manifests at different levels. And the biggest level, of course, that we've just spoken about that it manifests at is the spiritual level. On the spiritual level around the earth and just in our lives and in our society. Let's look at that as like the foundational level, or level 1. Level 2 of that would be how it manifests in our institutions and governments and corporations, right? In our jobs, in all of the structures that we've built. It's got its tentacles weaved in and out every single one of these places. And we can feel it. We don't want to work these NPC jobs. We don't want to be dealing with these genocidal, parasitic freak leaders that I just spoke about, these governments, these people in positions of power, these psychopaths. The systems that we have right now cater themselves to psychopathic, dark, triad energy. It caters, it's built, the frameworks of these systems, our jobs, our government, are built to reward those people who step on top of other people, right now. It's that energy, that of enforcer energy. It's in our institutions, it's everywhere, and we're aware of it. And obviously spaces and places online are becoming the community squares where we're becoming aware of this, and we're starting to talk about it, which is why, things like the TikTok ban, they want to show us, or even enact control over our communication, or show that they can control our communication, because they want us to be fearful. They want us to not talk about these things. They don't want us to address their structures that they've built. This Chuck E. Cheese Monopoly fun fair warehouse of horrors that they've forced us into, they want us to stay there. They want us to keep constructing that reality for them, because at the end of the day, we construct that reality for them collectively, right? What we collectively believe in and focus on is what manifests. That's why they have to use the news, again, their institutions, the media, everything in their power to program our subconscious minds, remind us every day that they are in control and that we're not, that we have no power, when the opposite is true. We are creating our reality. And then how they manifest, or how the enforcer spirit manifests on the third level, is through people. All of its little Dr. Smiths? No. Mr. Smiths, just like in the Matrix, right? The people who've been programmed and still believe in the Matrix, who are asleep in the Matrix, who can't see beyond what the Matrix has fed them, the way it's programmed them, the way it controls them and puppets their lives in the way that they settle with what they've been given with as scraps by the Matrix, right? Just have your little job and your stupid little pension and go to work, and don't question anything. Don't question what we're doing. Don't question us blowing up children in the Middle East and robbing diamonds and minerals from Africa and experimenting on other populations of children and places through big pharma in other countries, and trying to genetically control seeds and the control and the production and the flourishing of nature on a genetic level. All of these crazy, insane things that they do, they want you to be content with the entertainment, the bread and circuses that they give us, so that they can do whatever they want to do. Man, I'm spitting fire, and I know that I am, because I'm just feeling this fire in my chest and in my throat. Wow, I can feel like my fucking chakras on fire. Mad. But yeah, they want you to be distracted so that they can do those things. And when you're not distracted, they will send the people in your lives, the people next to you, to enforce you for them, because these people too don't know that they've been programmed. And so, of course, you have those people in your life. That's the level 3. Level 2 is the governments and institutions. Level 3 are the people in your lives. And they manifest in different flavors, in different ways. Because, of course, right, you're going to have people that you meet day to day that are strangers. They can be enforcers that just straight up hate on you for no reason. I've seen that a million times. We've all seen that 1,000,001 fucking times. Niggas just hating on each other, like, for no reason, like, from afar. Like, people just hating on each other, just because they see someone else's light shining. That's a thing. Obviously, we know that's a thing. And you can spot the behaviors and the ways that comes together, because it's in your face, it's blatant, right? You can see that. That's not hard to see. And obviously, at this level, you don't tolerate that. You've got enough self-respect that you've built up to defend yourself if that shit ever happens to you. But where we do fall short and where we do stumble, obviously, in our lives, especially as growing humans ourselves, is when the enforcers, the mini enforcers, when they come in the form of close family and friends, people that we thought rided for us, that don't actually ride for us, and that they reveal themselves in certain situations over time, and that disappoint you and that break your heart, and all types of emotional roller coasters that you have to go through realizing that certain people don't actually want you to win or flourish. And when you go through these experiences, again, you've probably come here in this lifetime to learn these lessons. But it's just like when you learn these things and they wound you, it's also a moment for your soul to learn that lesson and to take that bit of light, because every experience is a piece of light. You're going through this life experience collecting light. And so it's a way for you to take that light and integrate it into your soul so you can grow as well. Maybe that's what you're supposed to do in this lifetime. And maybe that's why they even came maybe to do that to you. It's like maybe understanding that from a higher level allows you to have more grace and patience with these people, even though they don't know that they're unconsciously hurting you or have hurt you. And they can hurt you in crazy ways. I'm not neglecting that. We've all been through certain experiences where they've either tried to dim our light or like straight up abuse our powers and our gifts in some way, or straight up like use them and suck them for themselves in some way. We all have our moments and ways that we've experienced that. I know you have. I know you have. You're part of my frequency family. Of course you have. But once again, you know, it's like just understanding that allows you to be more aware in your life. And once you see that these people are moving from a space of the enforcer energy, once you understand that, it doesn't become personal anymore. It allows you to disengage and finally start to just look at yourself. And of course, you've been through that on your journey, or maybe you're coming into that right now. But going through that gate is necessary. Is a necessary part of this journey, of this creative, entrepreneurial, self-expansion journey that you're on. Because the creative journey, as I am going to keep drilling into people's heads, it mirrors the spiritual journey. It does. It does. It's literally the same process. Go through the dark night of the soul in business, and you have to understand who you're talking to. I'm going to talk about all this stuff on my social media, but it is a mirror of the journey, and you are going to go through these experiences. And when you go through those experiences, it allows you to be like, okay, I just need to focus on myself and figure out who I am. And when you do that, you start digging into yourself and you start looking at who you are again. And when you are looking at these subconscious processes, you realize and you quickly understand that obviously like the subconscious mind doesn't know time. That's one of the first things that you come up against when you start to look into this type of information, understand yourself psychologically and break yourself down to look at your own flaws and your darkness. Like you come across the knowing that the subconscious mind doesn't know time. And because of that, your inner child is standing next to your teenage self, who is standing next to your adult self. They're all standing there inside of your mind at all times together. So even though you're inside of your adult body right now, or maybe your teenage body right now, who knows, or maybe your like midlife body right now, whatever stage of life you are at, you're standing together, just like in the last Airbender, Avatar, the anime or the cartoon, should I say, or the animation, should I say. You know, when he gets the visual of all of his past lives standing in a line, supporting him. They're all behind him, right? His army of ancestors that are actually him, but they're still his ancestors, right? It's the same concept with us. It's the same concept with your mind. They're all there. They're all there inside of your mind, standing together, each catering and serving and contributing to you as a complete person in their own way. And the fact that you are doing this work to look at yourself now and acknowledge that is what helped you to develop this cutoff game, right? Because now you're looking at yourself and you're focused on nurturing yourself. You've got no time for bullshit. And so when people come to you with the bullshit, you're either going to put them in their place, or you're just going to remove themselves, or just ignore that bullshit. Skirt by, you can't even get into the club. You're just hating from outside the club, you can't even get in. That type shit. That's the type energy that we're on, innit? And when you can't remove yourselves from situations in your life, from certain situations, you're now practicing on your alchemy powers, right? Your ability to transform certain weird energies that people may be giving you into other energies, because you are the alchemist. The artists are the alchemists. Of course, we create things from nothing. And because you're doing that, you're making your inner child feel extremely safe right now. That inner child version of you standing next to all the versions of you is extremely happy and safe right now, because your adult self is moving and acting in a way that is protecting your inner child and making sure that they feel nurtured, they feel safe, they feel stuck up for, they feel heard, they are being catered to. You're feeding yourselves the right foods, or you're thinking about, okay, I need to get my shit together. Like, it's time to really get serious about my gym activities or the people I'm putting myself around, right? You're not fucking around with your energy anymore. And that is just nourishing your entire, every voice inside of you, right, is now speaking in unison. That's like the visual I get from that. They're not out of sync anymore because they used to be. It's like every level or state of your mind, your subconscious mind, your ego, your higher self, your conscious mind, your shadow self, right? Every state of your mind is now harmonious. They're speaking as one voice. They're able to agree, and no one's arguing and fighting over each other as they were previously, because you were obviously in the matrix, come through the matrix, which had you fucked up. But at this point now, like you're in harmony internally. You're feeling it. You're feeling more centered, and that is great. Like that's where you need to be, and that's where you need to be, especially as you're about to explode off into this next version of your reality that you can feel coming. Because remember, you can feel, you know, deep down inside of you that you've come here to achieve something great with your creative powers, with your gift, with that star motherfucking energy, man. Shit. Star energy. That is you, fam. That is you. You have come here to be that, to do that. And like, yeah, it's just time for you to step into that role. Like, you can't play it small anymore. You can't play it small anymore. Fuck what these enforcers think. You're doing you, and you're serving you, and you're feeding your own soul now. And because you're doing that, because your adult self is nurturing every part of you, you know, your past selves, every state of you now, because they're doing that work, they've done that work, they've been doing that work, or they've started to do that work, right? Whatever journey or point on this path you're at, it doesn't matter. Like, once you step onto that path and you know that's what you have to do, it's like you're just nourishing yourself, right? And you start to look at yourself and you're like, man, I'm so motherfucking cool. I am a motherfucking cool person. Look at me. Look at the way I do things. Like, you start to have this appreciation for your energy signature in this universe, the way that you have shown up as a soul. And you know that. And when you're looking at yourself and thinking, I am so cool, what is actually happening, just to bring this full circle, is that you are finally, you're looking at your adult self from the eyes of your childhood self, from your perspective, from that mind, and you finally feel safe, and you're thinking to yourself, wow, like, I can really be me and have fun in this lifetime. And that is what unlocks so much for you in this next season. You are going to be playing and being more lighthearted and less stressed and working all the time and stressed whether like you're going to manifest the things that you need. It's because you know now that you have that power. You're going to be less stressed, and your nervous system isn't going to be so uptight. You're going to relax more. You're going to listen to yourself, do things that feel good on your unique path that you're on. Because at the end of the day, that is the best navigation compass that we could have. The feeling of feeling good. And God feels good. Everything God places in our life feels good. When we listen to ourselves, we feel good because we're in alignment with our God-given destinies, our powers, our auras. And that is our only thing to do in this life, to feel good and to make others feel good, to share that. And of course, we share that through our artwork and the things that we create in this life. So yeah, I just want to wrap this up by saying, keep going, you know, there's always more to do. I know that you're a little bit tired. You've come so far. You didn't come this far to stop here. I know you're tired, but again, do things that make you feel good. If you're feeling tired, rest, right? If you're feeling inspired to do something, do it. Just know that you're building brick by brick, and you're going to get to where you're supposed to get to. You're going to find the frameworks, you're going to find the teachers, you're going to find the voices, the connections, the people that are going to bring you to that destiny of where you're supposed to get to. And that's all you have to believe in. And that's what this next season is about: faith, belief, and trust in that, in your powers, in your ancestors, in God. And just go forward with that.